emasculating men.
Anytime you want to know who's responsible for something, start with following the money. Start by asking yourself who benefits from that. When you push women into the workforce, you double it. And when you double the workforce, you double the amount of people that you can tax, and you also make labor cheaper because there are more people that are willing to work. Who benefits from that? Teaching women that slinging caramel macchiatos for some lifeless corporation is more important than taking care of your own family. Who benefits from that? Pushing women into the workforce, making it so that there's nobody home to cook a healthy meal. Now you gotta go eat fast food. Who benefits from that? The truth of the matter is, corporations have always influenced popular culture for the sake of long-term financial growth. Most people don't know this, but John D. Rockefeller was single-handedly responsible for prohibition. He funded organizations like the Anti-Saloon League to spread propaganda to go against alcohol. He did this because Rockefeller is an oligarch. He's in the business of slanging oil, and at one point, alcohol in the form of ethanol was a cleaner and more efficient fuel for cars than oil was.
You know what you don't know is, alcohol prohibition was also because of John Rockefeller. He supported anti-alcohol groups and blew them up and donated millions to blow them up to outlaw alcohol because he saw it as a threat to gasoline.
Even the man, the myth, the legend, Henry Ford said himself, alcohol was a cleaner and nicer, better fuel for automobiles than gasoline. But that didn't really matter because after years of alcohol is bad propaganda, we outlawed alcohol and got kicked into prohibition.
Whoa.
Yes, and this is not a conspiracy theory. Alcohol prohibition was all backed by John D. Rockefeller.
Whoa. It was a threat to gasoline?
Yes, alcohol.
Because they thought people were going to make like ethanol?
He wanted to crush the ethanol business, right? But the way he did it is to create this hysteria with drink. Everyone has a drinking problem. Everyone's killing each other. And you know what ended up happening? Same thing. They outlawed alcohol. You couldn't drink alcohol.
And some people may ask, well, what happened to the ethanol business? Turns out there was a law that passed that says you can still make ethanol for cars, but you have to put petroleum in it so people don't drink it.
But they said, what about the alcohol for cars? And they wrote in the law that you could still make alcohol for cars, but you got to put petroleum in it so that people don't drink it. So it killed the business. So now they got to put oil in it if you want to sell it. And then it killed all. He killed everything.
This man single-handedly killed the ethanol business by funding propaganda and influencing popular opinion. There's a woman by the name of Sue Browder who was a writer for Cosmopolitan magazine, the most influential magazine for women in the 90s, who said that she was paid to create propaganda. She openly talks about being paid to change female popular opinion by lying about facts, data, and statistics to promote a more Sex in the City lifestyle.
I wrote for Cosmo for about 20 years, and then I immediately fell from grace and started writing lies for Cosmopolitan magazine. You have to understand a bit about how propaganda works. It's used not to sell just products, it's also used to sell ideas.
The truth of the matter is, teaching women that they'll find more fulfillment in working than building a family is very profitable, and wherever there's profit, there's probably some propaganda.
Like I said, there's more sinister implications here of why we're making manhood obsolete. When we're saying masculinity is wrong, this is backwards. You don't need a man. You can just have a baby without a man. You're starting to see that sort of programming happening with young women. When you're telling women to act like men, you should aspire to the things that men naturally might aspire to. When you remove the more natural feeling of men being providers and women being nurturers, which is a beautiful yin and yang that just works, right? So you're creating men to feel obsolete, and then women are complaining because men aren't being men. It doesn't work that way, right? And not only that, then increasingly you're telling women to be the opposite of what I think men want. You complain about men, but are you being the type of a woman that a man would want, right? It's a self-perpetuating problem. And then you say that and they, oh my God, Candace is a horrible human being. And I'm looking at you going, I'm not a dude. I wouldn't date you.
Exactly. Are you being the type of woman that a man will want? Because there are just too many women that are overvaluing their WAP. And I'm going to let y'all know a little secret. Every woman has one and every woman thinks it's the best. And yeah, it might get a man's attention, but it isn't going to.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bahashem. Rachak Wadash, double honor to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well, peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the men of the Lord that are prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom Barakathum. And she, Brother Uriah, man, I'm going to speak a few words on the earlier parts in this video where he had, I'll just go back to it, man. I played a lot of this, so Salakia. But
alcohol prohibition was also because of John Rockefeller. He supported anti-alcohol groups and blew them up and donated millions.
Now, who is John D. Rockefeller, man? All right. This falls into the vein of conspiracies and why Esau wants to put flags on your video and say and mark you as a misinformation spreader when they're the biggest misinformation spreaders on the planet. All right, people will look at you like you're crazy if you bring this thing up, but look, what hasn't this guy been willing to do to get paid, man? What hasn't this guy done just to satisfy his own wickedness, his own flesh? You see, but there's precepts on this, man, because these people plotted, man, from the very beginning. You know, from the very beginning, they've plotted. You know, it says, this is Psalms 83:3. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right. So we know a lot of times when we bring this out that this is talking about Jake, but when you look at what Esau has done, he's basically moved the goalposts from just focusing on Jake. Now he's basically oppressing every damn body, man. How are your own people dropping dead of opioids, petroleum-based medicine? Another one of the Rockefellers, man. Okay, all of these things that you wonder why is this promoted? Why is that scoffed against? You know, they went from these misinformation campaigns, lying to you about alcohol, lying to you about gas, just to protect profits, to lying to women, you know, to the whole liberation movement. You see, and then you find out that Rockefeller he started the whole women's liberation movement, man. I'm gonna go back to it.
Testing for equality of outcome rather than opportunity, feminists are demonizing and emasculating men.
Anytime you want to know who's responsible
For the man, climbing the corporate ladder and paying tax is more empowering and valuable. Masculinity is prevalent and the patriarchy must be dismantled. Through movies and media, we're taught that working for the man, climbing the corporate ladder and paying tax is more empowering and valuable than raising the next generation. Women have lost touch with our natural loving instincts and birth rates are plummeting. Men and women are not the same. And by protesting for equality of outcome rather than opportunity, feminists are demonizing and emasculating men.
anytime you want to know
Ultimately disrupting the family.
I went back too
And sent to
far.
Rockefeller-funded schools to
There
be
you go.
indoctrinated, funding feminist campaigns in media for stay-at-home wives, which meant they weren't working jobs and further from the truth. And that modern-day feminism is a war on true masculinity. Before women had the right to vote, most were stay-at-home wives, which meant they weren't working jobs and couldn't be taxed. Our overlords didn't like that. Rockefeller started funding feminist campaigns in media, and as a consequence of the movement, women started entering the workforce and leaving the home. Children would then be separated from their parents and sent to Rockefeller-funded schools to be indoctrinated by the state.
And so that's why you got a bunch of mindless nigglets running around, man. You know, and if you still want to be a part of this society, that explains why the Lord just gotta destroy you, man. All right, that explains it. This is Psalm 56. I'll start at verse 2. It says, "Mine enemies would daily swallow me up, for they be many that fight against me, O thou most high. What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee," man. And y'all trust in the wrong. Y'all trust in Joe Biden, man. The scriptures say trust in the Lord because you're in the hands of the enemy. But what do? Y'all run the opposite direction. Complete reprobates, man. All right, verse 4. In our power I will praise his word. In our power I have put my trust. I will not fear what flesh can do unto me. All right. So we've forsaken these bodies. We said if it costs us our lives, then so be it, man. All right, because that's basically where we're at. You can't speak against nothing. Once people start shutting down your speech, you already know what's coming next. All right, and who set this up? All right, Jake will be pro-black, blackety black on one hand. To the death, and then on the same token, he'll be completely with Esau, man, on bullshit, following all the things that he set up, Even the term calling yourself black is something that the devil gave you, man, all right? Verse 5, every day they wrest my words. All their thoughts are against me for evil, man. All of their thoughts. There's no Joe Biden had the lift every voice plan. Trump had the platinum plan. You got Ice Cube trying to fight. You got you got food stamps and all of these different quote unquote programs to help our people. And Jay can't even get a dime of reparations, man. Because all the things that they do it's wicked, man. Everything. I don't care what they're telling you, what they're giving you, it's all wicked, man. It's all to destroy you. Verse 6, the main point, they gather themselves together, they hide themselves, they mark my steps when they wait for my soul. So they already set things up. They know how Keisha was going to respond when Jake started getting locked up in the 80s in the crack epidemic. All right? They knew how Keisha was going to respond to this adulterous and death-filled rap music. When TikTok came out and the internet and cell phones and everyone got addicted to checking their phones, they knew how all of these things were going to play out, man, before they did it, and they did it. All right? Just like you plant seeds in a vineyard and you wait for it to grow and then you reap, that's what Esau is doing. He's marked our steps, as it says here, and they wait for our soul, man. And what's going to be the ultimate reaping? When he gets everybody on that charagma, that's going to be a wrap, man. That's the ultimate reap. Once he's done that, that's the harvest. All right? But you see, over years and decades, what did he start doing? All right? He allowed himself to get rich by only allowing you to buy things that he's got a monopoly on, like oil, which is why you don't have alcohol in your car. You don't have ethanol, which is why you can only get petroleum-based medicine. Everything else is quote unquote Eastern medicine or homeopathic or what they call it, pseudoscience. He's calling it, all right. But his science isn't pseudo. But then you look into it, it's all petroleum-based. Then you had the women's liberation movement, which you found out he also funded. All of the research for different medical illnesses, you find out that he set everything up and he's shoehorning you in like a herd. He's indoctrinated you through the school system, and now he doesn't even need school anymore because he's got the internet. He's got cell phones. He can program you without having set foot in the school now. See, back in the 80s, they needed schools to pump this information into you. But now they can just send a notification to your phone. And now this generation is ready to be reaped, man. You see? Shall they escape iniquity? In thine anger cast down the people, O power. All right? But what's the good news on this? This is Job 5:12. It says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So we know that it's written that this guy's not going to win. But he is going to get a lot of you jakes, man. A lot of you 2/3 niggas are just going to catch it because you deserve it, man, to be honest. You're not sorrowful. You're not repentant. You're not contrite about anything. All right? We tell you the truth and you buck up against it and you go further into the hands of the enemy, man. Verse 13, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Esau is the wise, and they're going to be taken in their own craftiness. Their own people are going to destroy them. All right? Wait till these militia groups, man, get busy when all hell breaks loose. They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as the night, but he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. So the poor hath hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth, man. And we're the poor. We're the ones with hope. Okay? You 2/3 don't have it, man. How can you have hope when you don't even believe that you're an Israelite? When you believe in Satan more than you believe in the Most High, man. It says this is Psalms 33:10. It says, the Lord Yahweh bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. So all of the things that this guy done, and he explained in this video, the Lord is going to shut it down, basically, man. He's already stopped it. See? Psalms 21:11, for they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. It says, therefore shalt thou make them turn their back when thou shalt make ready thine arrows upon thy strings against the face of them. And what are the arrows? Thermonuclear destruction. Because that's how bad it's gotten, man. It's not just the shit that you can piece together in news clips. It's all the trafficking of our kids. It's all the stuff we're being programmed to on the internet, the dark web, the very sinister nature of social media, the sinister nature of the culture of just going into debt, buying bullshit, all the food that we eat is literally poisoning us, all right, causing us to be sicker, to buy more petroleum-based medicine. All the levels of wickedness are so deep, we'll never be able to uncover it on this side. That's why the Lord gonna send the arrows, man. That's why everything here is gonna be burned thoroughly with thermonuclear destruction. Period. You know? Verse 13, be thou exalted, O Lord Yahweh, in thine own strength, and the Lord will be, when they see them nukes flying, when the rest of the world see America get completely eviscerated and the entire earth shake and change and have new lands and all types of things, the whole earth is gonna shut the hell up, man. They're gonna all know who Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is, man. And the people that he chose, man, along with that. So that's something to be looked forward to, brothers, you know? It says, so we will sing and praise thy power. So with that, man, I'll end it there. Hopefully you brothers were edified. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachak Wadash, Wa Abba Babal, and Shalom.